English Learning Hub.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Learning Hub, where English is easy and enjoyable. Today is day 22 of our 30-day shadowing challenge, and if you've been here since day 1, I am so proud of you.
22 days of daily practice takes real discipline and commitment. Today's topic connects to everything we've been doing: how to stop translating in your head and start thinking directly in English.
If you're still translating in your head right now, that doesn't mean you're bad at English. It's completely normal, and every language learner goes through it.
Here's what's actually happening in your brain. When you learned your first language as a baby, your brain built this enormous web of connections between words, feelings, and memories. It's automatic, like breathing.
When you start learning English, your brain doesn't have that web yet, so it uses your first language as a bridge, a shortcut to get to the meaning. That longer road works, but it takes more time and energy, and in a real conversation, it's not fast enough.
That's the frustrating moment every learner knows. You're translating, and by the time you're ready to speak, the conversation has moved on, so you just smile and nod.
If smiling and nodding were an Olympic sport, language learners would win gold every year. So how do we build that direct road from English straight to meaning?
This shortcut gets built through experience and exposure. There's real research showing that truly bilingual people's brains activate both languages almost simultaneously. The translation step disappears. And this can happen at any age, not just for children.
Let's get into the practical tips. First, start naming things around you in English throughout your day. When you wake up, gently redirect your brain to English. Bed, pillow, window, door.
I actually used sticky notes on everything in my apartment. My refrigerator said refrigerator. My couch said couch. My roommate thought I'd lost my mind, but it works because every time your eyes land on that note, your brain makes a tiny connection between the word and the real object.
Repetition in context is much more effective than repetition on a flashcard list. That's exactly how you learned words in your first language as a child, by seeing and hearing them over and over in real life.
Second tip, change your phone and online life to English. If everything around you is in your first language, your brain gets the message that English is only for study time, not real life. When your phone is in English, English becomes part of your daily routine.
If that feels scary, start small. Change just one app or search for one thing per day in English. Small, consistent changes beat big, dramatic changes you give up after 3 days.
Third tip, a bit more emotional. Name your feelings in English. Emotions are deeply connected to our first language, so thinking in a second language can feel flat or distant at first because the emotional roots aren't there yet.
When you feel happy, say to yourself, "I feel happy," in English. Over time, as you connect those words to real emotional moments, English starts to feel personal, like it's yours, not just something borrowed from a textbook.
Now let's talk about shadowing specifically, since we're on day 22 of this challenge. Shadowing is when you repeat what a speaker says at almost the same time, and because you're speaking simultaneously, your brain has zero time to translate.
It's forcing your brain into English-only mode whether it wants to or not. After enough repetitions, your brain learns that this direct processing is just how English works, and eventually that starts to feel natural even outside of shadowing practice.
I want to say something to everyone on day 22 right now. Even the days you practiced while tired or distracted, those days count too, maybe even more than the easy days.
Now, something that holds a lot of people back, the fear of making mistakes inside your own head. When people try to think in English, they sometimes hear their own mistakes and feel embarrassed, even though no one else can hear them.
That self-judgment is really harmful, even in private thoughts, because if thinking in English feels uncomfortable, your brain will avoid it and go back to the easier, more familiar language.
So give yourself full permission. Your inner English can be messy, and that is completely okay. Every time you reach for an English word, even the wrong one, you're strengthening those brain connections. The attempt is the practice, not the perfection.
And when you catch a mistake in your own thinking, that's actually valuable. Your brain just identified a gap in your knowledge, a specific thing to practice. Your mistakes are like a map.
One more thing connected to this, subtitles. Watching English content with subtitles in your first language is a sneaky trap. It feels like learning English, but you're actually reading in your first language while the English audio plays in the background.
Your brain always takes the path of least resistance. The suggestion is to switch to English subtitles or even try watching without subtitles at all, at least sometimes.
A practical tip: watch something you've already seen before, so you already know the story. That existing knowledge helps you fill in the gaps of what you don't catch, and that skill of filling in gaps is exactly how real listening comprehension works.
Every time you understand something from context without translating, that's your brain making a direct English connection, and it feels amazing.
Let's talk about journaling in English too, one of the most underrated tools for thinking in English. Writing gives you a little more time to sit with your thoughts and find the English words.
It doesn't need to be long. Even 3 simple sentences a day is enough. Today was a good day. I had a nice breakfast and walked to the shops. Because it's about your real life, it creates stronger memory than translating textbook sentences.
And one of the best parts of keeping a journal is looking back after a few months and actually seeing your progress in writing.
Be kind to your past self. They were doing the best they could with what they had, and that's worth celebrating, not cringing at.
Now, the most emotional part of this journey, the moment you first realize you're actually thinking in English. I remember having a casual conversation about dinner plans, and afterward realizing I hadn't translated the whole time. I just talked.
How did that feel?
It felt like I'd been walking around with a heavy coat on for so long, I didn't even notice its weight anymore. And suddenly, the coat was gone, and I felt so light.
That moment is coming for you too. It might not be tomorrow, but if you keep going, keep shadowing, keep journaling, it's absolutely coming.
And it doesn't mean the journey is over. It's just the beginning of a new phase where English stops being something you carry and starts being something you wear, like it's just part of you.
Some of you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I live somewhere nobody speaks English. That's such a real question, but so many people reach fluency without ever living in an English-speaking country.
What matters more than your physical location is how much time and mental energy you devote to English every day. You don't need to change your relationships or stop speaking your first language to family.
The idea is to carve out your English time, even 20 minutes of shadowing, 10 minutes of journaling, or narrating your morning routine in your head. Those small, consistent pockets of English time matter more than talent or the perfect method.
That's day 22. Keep showing up, keep practicing. Your moment of thinking in English is coming.
We'll see you tomorrow for day 23. Bye, everyone.